The exhibition was an archive of images that we've been assembling for the last 10 years at the Voinovich School. Projects in the community, projects around the university. They are beautiful photographs that captivate not only our eye, but hopefully our attention as well. It became very clear to me very soon that what I could do there was make some inroads in the way that the Voinovich School actually looked at themselves. And they could do that through images. Ohio University had an extraordinary photojournalism program. And why not create images for and about the Voinovich School's activities using some of these students? So we created a fellows program, which was one of those fabulous win-win situations. So students at VisCom got real experience in the field, being working photojournalists. And the Voinovich School began assembling an archive of images that recorded the activities that they participated in. So now we have a history of 10 years of images produced by these VisCom fellows for the Voinovich School.
Senator Voinovich was deeply committed to collaboration across all kinds of communities and people to create better communities, to address all kinds of problems. And he knew that communication of all forms is part of how you always have to do that.
Photographs, almost more than words, can be powerful instruments because they engage so many senses. They engage our visual sense of the world as well as our intellectual sense of what those pictures are about. We are so inundated with almost a stream of images. We use them every day, all day long. A single image asks you to pause, to think about that particular image at that particular moment that it was made. So the dialogue becomes much more intimate and much more individual between the person viewing and the thing that they're looking at. And I think those are very valuable conversations that we can have now outside of the stream of everyday conversation. That's the talent of the great photographers. There'll be some of those images that are just so powerful that it's almost a visceral, physical reaction that you have to those particular images. Photography is a medium well suited to document over time progress. I think the good photographer, especially the good photojournalist, doesn't just walk in and start snapping photos. It's a much longer process than that begins with a investigation and research into the topic itself and conversations with the scientists or researchers who are doing the work in the field.
The Voinovich Center, 10 years ago, of course, it became a school. As the kind of things they do, they're so varied. They clean up runoff in streams. They promote the economy by building technology companies here in southeastern Ohio. They do all kinds of things with school children. They work on health issues. They have hundreds of projects that build social good using all kinds of collaborations. It's not about the narrow confines of the university town, but about all the issues of the region.
Many of these photographs take place in the areas where the Voinovich activities are happening and with the partners that they're happening with. But the emphasis should be on the word progress. So you might say, how do you picture progress?
Right.
Progress is an ongoing thing. And sometimes the solution is not about real. It's about something that's a bit more abstract. It's about color. It's about let's make this more lively. How do we do that? Let's find the color in this situation. Let's find the activity in this situation. Those are the kinds of things that are going through, I suspect, a good photographer's mind while they're making these images.
Having a Mary and the photographer there, having other people who are charged with the challenge of communication promotes innovation, because if you can't communicate what's being done, if you can't find a way to examine the issue and describe how the issue can be addressed, then you're not focusing on it clearly enough. Anybody who can innovate can enhance what they're doing by being conscious of how you're going to communicate this to the outside world. It's like a Greek chorus there, asking questions and forcing you to refine and rethink and redescribe what it is you're about. Thinking thinking about the images forces you to think, what's the message that we're trying to get across? What's the essence of what we're doing? Learning to pause is how we stay calm and centered in the midst of all of this, whether it's looking at a photograph or just taking a breath and thinking about what's going on. It changes our experience in an increasingly hectic world. Photographs certainly are one of the things that can help us briefly do that.
Historians are always in despair that in the world that we live in now, there are no such things as diaries and no one's writing letters anymore. And what are we going to go and do our research about and look at? And yet I think that we are increasingly carrying around our diary in our pocket with our phone. In that way, we're all assembling our own personal archives of what we've done and what we've seen and who we've known. Hopefully now, with 10 years of images in their pocket, the Voinovich School can do the same thing.